Hi everyone, can you guys hear me? I think you should be able to. Awesome sauce. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy and paste the message to pin on the chat so anybody else who joins can see. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe there's a lot of you guys here. Thank you guys so much for being on my first live. You guys are the best. Oh, I wrote too much. What? Okay, it is officially 2 o'clock, so I'm almost done, I promise. Okay, at the end. Perfect. All right, friends, thank you again for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited and nervous. Today's agenda, I will be hoping to talk about the planners and journals that I will be using for next year. I have notes right here. So I don't go off topic, but I will be hoping to discuss that briefly. If you guys have any questions, please ask them away, and then I will try to answer them before I move on to the next one. And then we're going to go ahead and also discuss some topics like my stationery favorites. A lot of you guys were asking about that on Instagram. And then finally, I'm going to do the Q&A at the end. So any questions that I missed from you guys, if I still miss it, please, if you can resubmit it in the chat, that would be wonderful so I don't have to dig through everything again. And also there were some pre-submitted questions that were submitted on Instagram. So I'm going to try to go through those as we have time. Miss Alexandra, yes, I am going to try to save the live. This is my first one, so I don't know how that goes. But yeah, I'm hoping I can keep it so you guys can rewatch or whatever. Okay, but anyways, to start off, it's 2026. I've finally moved on to my planners and journals. I am using 2 for daily use and 1 just like as needed, maybe a couple times a week. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this one first so we can get it out of the way. This one is a passport size traveler's company notebook. And this one I am just using like as a health and fitness journal. So basically I have my goals for getting healthier this year. I've got, for this one, I'm going to try to highlight the days that I go to the gym. The goal is to go 8 times a month so my company can pay for it, like my work. And then I just have basically the exercises that I want to do on a certain day, and then how I actually did, how much weights and stuff like that. I have another filler notebook in the back, which is just basically notes of, the kind of exercise that I want to do. I also asked ChatGPT to make me a 12-week year plan for the goals I want to achieve. Some of it is like squatting 200 pounds. So in case of emergency, I would be able to hopefully squat or carry my husband or my mom out of the house and into safety. But yeah, so those are that. I think one of the other goals I have as far as health and wellness is lowering my cholesterol. So I just have notes on that on here. But yeah, again, I just use this a couple times a week. If you guys have any questions on this one, let me know. I'm gonna move on to, you guys have a preference because these ones might be kind of long. So this one, the A5 is my Bible study journal. And then this traveler's notebook is my daily planner. Thank you, the Daily Simple. I know I just pieced it together, I think yesterday because I was bored, but everything from Pinterest. Okay, let's get into my other traveler's journal here. So this one is going to be my daily planner and memory keeper. I have my stuff on here that I thankfully covered beforehand because I would have forgotten. But basically, I have a lot of trackers here for finances. So this one has paydays, PTO, quarterly bonuses from my company. I've also got the bills I have to pay every month down here. Probably a 2025 highlights here. Here are my goals page. So this is really nice. Oh, by the way, this is a Sterling ink booklet. This is the monthly one. And it's really nice. This is the first time I've ever used it. It breaks down your goals to someday, every year, half a year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. So I was really able to kind of dissect my goals to more chewable chunks. So here's some for spiritual, marriage, health, and finances are the ones that I'm focusing on for this year. This page will be tracking my physical activity. So I just put squiggles in here for when I reach my steps, if I do weight training, and if I do other cardio. So I just do that in different colors. You guys probably see better this way. My camera seems so far. I do have an issue with allergies. So I get hives every day. So I'm just trying to track down if it's related to my cycle or what I eat. Or maybe it's just maybe the weather. But basically, this is just going to be nice to show my doctor if needed. Okay, and then we have monthly plans. So basically, this is just what I'm going to do for the month. I'm going to put my step counts here. And then some fun pages in the back. I think I want to do this one as a guest book. So just people who are in my life, I want them to write on my notebook. So I can look back, and see in 2026, I was, close to this person and stuff like that. So I think that would be really nice. Have stationery spending tracker because I'm hoping to spend less on stationery this year. Date nights log. This is my call logs with my brother on my phone. He is named as Oink. So there's that. Have adulting log. I recently added this side quest list. So basically stuff that I want to accomplish sometime this year if possible that's not necessarily related to my goals. So, for example, learn a new hairstyle because I always just wear my hair down. Maybe volunteer my photography services somewhere and stuff like that. I do photography, so I have my photography expense and mileage log here. And then financial trackers. So this one is for debt, hoping to see my debt is off the charts here, but I'm hoping to see it go down through the year. And this one is for savings. Hopefully this one will go up somehow. And then we just have my wish list and categories. This is going to be like my wallet. So I have my credit cards here and stuff too. This is basically my weekly planner. This is what I have for today. We went to an adventure day with my dog Cloud. I still need to study for spiritual gems. My meeting is tonight and stuff like that. And then finally, we have this grid notebook from Serica Studios. So this is just like a blank grid notebook. And this will just be for memory keeping. I'm into latte art recently, so that is all for this one. Do you guys have any questions? You guys use planners or are you more digital? Okay, I think this one is what you guys are mostly interested in. This is my Bible study journal, my Hobonichi cousin, A5. And this one, let me take these out real quick. Okay, this one has a lot of stuff, so buckle up. I hope you guys have some nice drinks, by the way. I've got an iced mocha, which is a recent micro hyperfixation or something, but it's basically chocolate milk with coffee or espresso, so it's awesome. Okay, so I have hair somewhere. Okay, so this is my Bible study journal. I use this one for anything spiritual, basically. On the calendar here, I am still keeping up with the metro shifts and important spiritual events. So this Sunday, our meeting will start at 1. We have a pioneers meeting on the 24th, and I have a part on the 29th. For this page, usually I use this one as a ministry tracker. So these highlighted sections are the days that I'm planning to go out. And each block is how many hours I'm planning to go out for. And then I'll just shade in the parts that I actually go out. I'm changing this top and bottom section for next year. I got these little star stickers from Daiso, and I think I'm just going to give myself a gold star whenever I comment. So I have comments up here, and then for Bible reading down here. So going back to basics, I think that's a good way to bribe myself, but I am hoping to fill this page with a lot of stars. For my monthlies, I don't really know what to do with this one, but I think I'm going to keep up with using this as, what do you call that? My spiritual highlights for each month. So I'll show you guys how that looks in my old journals later. Some extra months I am using as swatches. Okay, weeklies are my favorite. So this one I use as my daily text notes page and also stuff I want to pray for. So you can see I write the daily text up here or sometimes in the middle over here. Write the notes that I have from what I read. And then I really like doing the daily text challenge where you have to summarize the daily text in about 3 words, maybe 3 to 5 if you really want. But it's hard, you guys. You guys should try it. But I'm trying to reincorporate that in my routine for this coming year. But yeah, let me know if you guys get to try it. It actually helps me to kind of stop and really think about what I'm reading and what I learned. And it also helps me to kind of remember. And then on the bottom here, I just try to list out some things that I want to pray for that day. Tips for a beautiful calligraphy for Bible study. The daily simple, I think my tip for you is to practice a lot. I think I had the advantage of the pandemic when I was learning calligraphy. So I had a lot of time to learn and to actually practice. But I do follow a lot of calligraphy tutorials when I was first learning on YouTube. So definitely check those out. I am also going to see if I can do a calligraphy tutorial for you guys because I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. But yes, it's just kind of like how to film it is going to be kind of hard. So, um, do you use a separate prayer journal? Someone suggested it to me in marking when a prayer is answered. I actually really love that idea. Maybe you can use something small like this one and do like, what you prayed for each day. So for example, Saturday is what I prayed for. Then maybe like circle it or something, highlight it if it is answered. I don't have a separate one just because it's really hard for me to think of stuff that I pray for. So my prayers are usually really repetitive. That's why I kind of started this one. So I just basically do it here. And if a prayer is answered, these little things I try to fill out, but it's not very noticeable. So I think maybe I'll highlight it next time or put like another gold star on it or something. But thank you guys so much for your questions. Oh, and Funky Cool, my friends. I actually also have a collections page here, which let me show you real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a little drawing of a bouquet over here, and it's gonna be like a bouquet of answered questions. So each flower I will be putting in like what question, not questions, what prayers has been answered and how it was. So I'm hoping to do that. If I do get more, I'll probably use a few more pages from the collections over here. But yeah, moving on to my monthlies, I really don't use this as a daily journal per se. So basically, it's dated and you're supposed to be writing on the day of. But what I am doing is I am using each month as a category. So January, I am using that as my collections page. So stuff that I would reference a lot. I've got February will be my JW broadcasting notes or any other video notes that I watch. March will be my spiritual gems notes. I do try to put my spiritual gems on here that I learned from the meetings, and then my personal Bible reading gems are the ones that I actually put on my Bible. I've got, for April, I have meeting notes. So public talk, pioneers meeting, any ripoffs from the workbook or any lessons from the Watchtower goes over here. May is my name, so this is the months I am using for my personal study notes, so anything I need to personally work on. June will be my assembly and convention notes. July will be notes on creation. So I'm hoping to paint more and do more creative stuff like that this year. This one is a new one. For the month of August, I will be doing a study on countries. So like how the truth got into or started into each country. So for example, somebody asked me like, oh, do you know how, the truth got into the Philippines? And I was like, you know what? I actually don't know. So that inspired me to start that little category. And then we have Bible characters for the month of September. And then the rest are kind of blank. So I think this one I will be using as a drink stickers graveyard. So whenever I go out and get a drink, like boba, I drink a lot of boba, coffee, tea. They usually have those peelable stickers on the cup. So I'll just put it here and see how much diabetes I get from it. I think I'm also thinking about using this one as a graveyard for my photo printer. There's a blue page that prints from it. So I'm going to just put that here, see how much photo printer pages I use, basically. Okay, and that is about it. There are some special pages in here that I will be using. This one, I haven't really used this one. It's a graph paper. I'm thinking about maybe followers on Instagram or YouTube. Not entirely sure. If you guys have any suggestions on these pages, please, please, please let me know. On the favorites here, I'm thinking of songs on repeat, or whenever I do a movie night, I'll put them here. I do get a lot of really mean comments on Instagram, which is very sad. But instead of focusing on those, I think I want to write down your guys' nice comments on here so I can always look back whenever I feel like down or feel like quitting and stuff like that. And I think on this other page, I'll just split it in half. I think I'll just do another top 50 Bible scriptures. And then, last but not least, the 365 days check off. I am thinking I can do this as how many days I actually read my daily text. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about these special pages, but that is all I've got for you guys. Do you guys have any questions on this one? Before I get... Okay, we're going into stationery favorites. Where are my journals? Oh. I love you guys so much. I think some people are just very concerned. So it's very understandable. Let's see. Okay, very good. Stationery favorites. We are going to talk about journals. Thank you guys. Honestly, there's a lot more people who are very supportive of me than there is, mean comments. But sometimes when I get those mean comments, it just sticks and it makes me contemplate life and just be down and feel like, I'll just quit my Instagram and stuff like that. So I don't, stumble anybody. But yeah, I can't please everyone. So thank you guys so much for being here. There's 18 of you guys here. I was expecting like 2 people, like my mom and my brother to be here. But you guys showed up. So thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so for stationery favorites, I've got a little cheat sheet here. We are going to go to the essentials. So if you guys want to start journaling and stuff like that, all you really need is a notebook and a pen. You can also do this digitally if you would like. So notebook, as you guys see, I have Hobonichi, which is highly recommended. Traveler's notebooks are very, how do you say that? Like, you can use it for a lot of things. They even have like small, less intimidating notebooks that you can use to just start out with. But really, any notebook that you have used or new is going to be sufficient. It's preferably something that you will reach out for, so you can always, you'll have to want to use it. So maybe something with a cute cover. If it doesn't have a cute cover, maybe you can design a cover yourself and put like stickers on it. This is one of the notebooks I started out with. It's just a filler notebook from Amazon, and it has dot grids. I put stickers on here that are really cute. But this is what's on the inside. Basically, I would split the page into quarters, and one quarter will be for daily text notes. The other one is for meeting prep. The other one is for Bible reading. And then the other one is for other things that I study throughout the day. So this one was Gilead graduation. But yeah, this is how I started out with. Very plain, but it just helped me to get the habit started. The other thing that you will need will be pens. So for pens, I highly recommend the Pentel Energel Clenas. These are my favorite pens. I have a bunch of them. So basically these babies, it's basically the same as the regular Pentel Energels. They write exactly the same, but these pen bodies are so cute. So I do prefer these ones. My first love, though, were the Pilot G2s. So those ones are always reliable. And really, that is all you need. Maybe get 2 different colored pens. Make it fun. Make it exciting. My desk is getting cluttered. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, those are everything you need. I was going to put fountain pens on here, but it's not really a must-have. It's a nice to have. But if you are wanting to start your fountain pen journey, I do recommend, let's see, this one. This one is a Jinhao 82. It looks like the expensive sailor pens. And this is $4 on AliExpress, I think. And they write nice and smooth. They're so pretty. I think they're about $8 to $10 on Amazon. But yeah, really affordable. Highly recommend that one to just start out with, see the feel and stuff like that. If you want to move on to something just a little bit more expensive, I've got, so these are also Jinhao 82s. I really like the TWSBI Ecos. These are about $35. Let's just get one. They hold a lot of ink, so that means you can write a lot. And they're so pretty. I have this one here, which is the same brand, TWSBI Eco. But yeah, start with those. Let me know what you think. Okay, so you've got your pen and you've got your notebook. What else are nice to haves? We have a photo printer. Oh my gosh, I love photo printers. Well, I'm actually a very visual person, so I've put a lot of people on those mini portable photo printers. The one I personally use is an HP Sprocket, which I don't have right now because I have my sister Destiny has it. She's using it for her journal. But basically, it does print in, how big does it print? 2x3. It prints in 2x3 pages. Let me just try to find. Oh man. Okay. So this is like half of it, and then you can even print in quarters, which is smaller. But yeah, it's really nice to have. The only downside is that the paper is quite expensive. It can be really expensive if you print a lot of photos. It's about 50 cents per page. If you want though, and if you have like a regular printer, you can always print your photos in a regular printer. Maybe use a sticker paper and just cut it that way. I'm going to show you guys how those look like. These are my old memory keeping journals. I know, somewhere in July. Okay. So again, it can get expensive if you print a lot of photos. So on days that I have a lot of photos to print, I just use my regular printer. I use a sticker paper so I can just take it out and then stick it on here. And then got these these ones are from the actual sticker papers from the HP Sprocket, so you can kind of see the difference. And you don't even have to cut it. If you guys want, you can just print a page full of photos and be done with it. So that's what I did here for November 2025. But yeah, if you guys can print your photos, that would be wonderful. Okay. The second thing that's nice to have would be stickers and stamps. The stickers that I like to use are from Hello Petite Paper. It's usually just something that's watercolor, pretty looking stickers. So like these. That's pretty much most of where I get my stickers from. I do get some from Daiso as well and places like that. Stamps. Stamps add really good, like especially if you don't draw, stamps are really good. So it adds like little doodles and interesting stuff on your journals. I'm gonna show you guys what those look like, but the ones that I get, so these ones are from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then these ones are from Everyday Explorers Co. So those are my favorite stamp places. But let me show you guys what those kind of look like. This is my journal from when I went to the Philippines and Japan. So this one, I was just using alphabet stickers, so you don't have to calligraphy, guys. You can just use alphabet stickers to make headings, and it's really easy. And then I have, stickers for rating stuff. Here's the one from Coffee Monsters Co. Oops, don't look at that. Okay, there you go. If you don't want to use or spend money on stickers or stamps, you can always use ephemera. I call it trash collecting, making it cute. But basically, you can use, packaging from everything that you do or places you go to as like a sticker or an ephemera. Some examples of that would be, this is from when we went to Texas to do Seldom Work Territory. This is packaging from Pandora when we went to get Texas Pandora charms. I forgot my hairbrush, so I had to buy another one. So there's the packaging for that hairbrush. Might not be your cup of tea, but this is a little tiny McDonald's fry thingy. And guess what? Look. Oh my gosh, I put another thingy, another journaling thingy on there. But yeah, basically use whatever ephemera you guys have, receipts and stuff like that. These are other good examples of using stamps to kind of add to artsy stuff to your journaling. But yeah, if you don't want to use stickers or stamps, definitely just maybe start by adding ephemera. Okay, last but not least are brush pens and highlighters, and they're really good for adding color, emphasis to your journals. Let me find my brush pens. For calligraphy, you guys, I love putting people on. Oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, here is calligraphy brush that I have been using more frequently. It's a Pentel Sign brush pen. And then what I started on are these Tombow Fudenosuke. I don't know how to say it. These are the hard tip ones. And this is how I started to use calligraphy. I feel like this is easier to learn on because you have to kind of press really hard to get those sticker down strokes. So if you guys want somewhere to start, definitely get these two and then follow those tutorials on YouTube. Where do you get them? Where do you get most of my journaling supplies? From Amazon. What else was I going to say? Oh, highlighters. I can't draw or anything, and I can't really do like color combos and stuff like that. So most of my highlighters are just neutrals. I have a gray one and a brown one that I frequently use in most of my journals. However, I do have a bunch of Tombow markers as well that I'm going to be I started collecting them in the pandemic when I was learning to calligraphy, but I haven't been using them in a while. But I will try to use them now and to kind of add color to my notebooks. I think Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co., if you guys know who I'm talking about, she put out this little freebie of color combos or marker suggestions for each month, and it tells you like the mild liner colors to get and use and Tombow markers. So I'm going to try to follow that and hopefully be better at adding color to my life. Hi, JV Jamie. Is that how you say your name? I'm so happy you are here. Oh my goodness. I was telling people I have a lot of practice on as far as journaling and calligraphy. So you guys just give it time and you guys will get there. Okay. Drop any of your questions, anything and everything. I'm going to try to go over some that were pre-submitted while I wait for your guys' questions. Where I buy my stationery. So I buy a lot of my stationery on Amazon. I do also go to Jet Pens a lot for pens and stuff like that. But Amazon is basically my go-to. History. Have I always been a journaler? This one is a really good one. I brought some old journals to show you guys. Oh gosh. So to answer the question, no, I have not always been a journaler. I think I started out as like a note taker. So this is a notebook that my husband gifted me when we weren't even dating. But you'll see some of my notes here. Family worship notes. This is not my drawing. Like my part that I'm trying to brainstorm. Let me see if I can find a better one. Branch visit. Let's see one. Do you guys see the date on this one? Okay, May 17, 2015. So these are I think these are public talk notes, I feel like. So this is how I started out with, okay? And then I think I started memory keeping in a way in these journals too. So, or not. But I did start memory keeping digitally in my calendar as well. So I put like on the dates that it happened, like what happened. So for example, today we did a long service day and had ice cream in the evening or something like that. And then after that, I started adding future events on my calendar, and basically I became a planner that way. I think it wasn't until the pandemic, so this is my 2021 bullet journal, that I really started getting into it. Oh gosh. But yeah, so this is like a future log, monthly to-do list. That's when I started getting into it. This is personal study notes. So yeah, this is my everything in one book. So this is how I started with everything. The pandemic, it is to blame for all this craziness. But yep, that is how I started. My first Hobonichi and Traveler's Notebook encounter was just after the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I had a lot of time to make spreads and watercolor and stuff like that. But after the pandemic, life resumed basically. So I didn't have time to make spreads anymore. So I just had to have something more structured. And Hobonichi gave that for me. My first Travelers was not until actually 2024. So when we did Seldom Work Territory, that was the first notebook that I showed you guys. So this was my first Traveler's notebook to document our first Seldom Work Territory in Texas. Let me see some of your questions. Can you recommend highlighters that don't bleed through Bible pages? Yes, absolutely. I'll show you guys that in a bit. Do you guys have a list we can find on Amazon, as I'm in Australia, so Amazon works for me? Yes, I have an Amazon journaling favorites list. I think I might have, I don't know if it works now, but I think I tried to put it in the description of this video. If not, it is on my Instagram page on my links. Let me see. Let me stalk my own Instagram. So you go to direct me, and then you guys will see favorite journal and study supplies, and that should bring you to Amazon. Everything that I use are in here. Not everything, probably, but a lot of stuff that I use are in here. You are so welcome. Happy shopping. Okay. Let's see. Hello, guys. Welcome. What part of Texas did you do the Saltomore territory? My congregation helped with that, so I wonder if it was in the same area. We went to Van Horn area, and I think it was in between El Paso and oh my gosh, where was it in between? Oh, there's Clint. We visited Clint Congregation, if that sounds familiar. Surrounding areas, we have Sierra Blanca, Opecos Congregation. We also visited. So it's like the closest one we can get to by driving from Arizona. So it was like near El Paso. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more of these and then I'm going to go grab my Bible if you guys want to go over the stuff that I use for that one. Somebody wanted me to show my personal pages as an example, which I think I did. I'm going to show some of my personal pages, I think from my study journal. I don't know if that's what they meant. Here you go. So here are some of the highlights that I was talking about doing for my monthlies in my journal. So these are mostly spiritual highlights, like getting trained for scheduling and for shed cleaning, starting a Bible study, having our own service group. This is what a completed daily text notes and prayer page looks like. I'm very proud of that, although not every week looks like that. Okay, I'm going to do a flip through of my 2025 study journal. So I'm hoping to get that out by the end of January if you guys want to see that one. Here is the 2025 year text. Some spiritual gem notes. Here's my broadcasting notes, which I only did until April. I'm hoping to be more consistent with that. Pioneer meeting notes. Some rip outs from the Watchtower and stuff like that. But yeah, those are some of my personal pages. If you guys want to see more, just let me know. But then again, I'm going to do a flip through of this chunky girl, hopefully sometime this month. And then finally, how I learned to write beautifully. You guys always hype up my handwriting, so thank you guys so much for that. I think my handwriting is one of the things that I really like about myself. But I learned to write like that from my mom. I actually stole one of her journals. So this is one of her journals. And basically, when I was younger, I was in the Philippines and she was in America. So there was really nothing that I know of her or I have of her except for her school notes books. So I would try to copy her handwriting from there. But yeah, she writes really nicely. So look, I'm gonna flip through her notes here. Doesn't she write so cute? My handwriting is not like that. It's quite different, but that's okay. It was inspired by, you can say, my mother. But here is our handwriting side by side. Does it look similar, you guys? Anyways, so yeah. Basically, I just felt like it was our handwritings that kind of connected us in a way. We don't really have that typical mom-daughter bond, but I don't know. Having my handwriting kind of look like hers-ish makes me happier. But yeah, hers looks like a font, honestly. I still want to copy her handwriting, but I've got my own now. All right, I'm going to go grab my Bible really quickly so I can answer some of your guys' questions on that one. And then I think we are, oh my gosh, we've been here for almost an hour. So I think that will be the last thing. And I think I've answered most people's questions. So if you guys have any more, please send them in the chat before I end the live at around hopefully an hour mark. But I shall be right back. Okay, wait. Do you print photos with just your printer? Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. When I have to print a lot of photos, I do try to use my regular printer so I don't use up a lot of the kind of expensive photo printer. So again, I was showing people this is what it looks like when I use my regular printer to print photos. And then some photos that I printed with the actual mini photo printer. This is so chunky. Sorry, I just love the chunk. Okay, let me clear out my desk real quick. Okay, guys. Oh, wait, this is not included. Okay, here are some of the Tombow markers that I was talking about to add more color. Wait, not that one. Those are my neutrals. Okay, add more color. But basically, yeah, I have a lot of these that, again, I started collecting when, like, at the beginning of pandemic that I just want to try and use again. Okay. This is my Bible, and this is my specific notebook that I use for Bible reading, just so I don't have to always find the stuff that I need. Highlighters for my Bible reading. The zebra mild liners. These ones are really nice. I like the colors. They're not, well, I did pick out these colors from the set, but the ones I picked out are not very neon. So I do like the colors that they have. They don't really bleed through the page. I have a post on that one that I did recently, but let me find an example. So these ones, I'll put it closer. So how I highlight is kind of weird. So I highlight and then I kind of pause for a little bit at the end. And I think that kind of gives some of the bleed through, but it doesn't necessarily bleed through except for that end part where I hold my highlighter longer than usual. So that is a bleed through where the ink seeps through the actual page. Otherwise, you just kind of see a shadow of the rest of it. So that one is called ghosting. So you can see over here, I didn't highlight anything, but this one was from the back page. But there's no bleed through whatsoever on that one. I think in the beginning I was using Sharpie highlighters. So let me go see that. So these are Sharpie highlighters that I was using in the beginning. I think same goes for that one. Just a tad bit more bleed through, if you guys can see. So just a little bit more. But otherwise, I think the Sharpie highlighters are fine too if that's something that doesn't bother you. I did also use, what was, the Pilot G2s. These are the Pilot G2s that I used. And those ones were also kind of bleeding through the pages as far as pens go. So now I am also using the Pentel Energel Cleanse for my Bible reading. Trying to see. Trying to see if there's any bleed through. Okay, so I think the red bleeds through more than anything. So here is an example of my writing, and then I put a little arrow in there, and I think that little pool of ink kind of bled through the page. So you can see it on the other side right here, kind of. Maybe it's not necessarily a bleed through, more ghosting, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, if that bothers you, maybe get a ballpoint pen instead or use pencil. But yeah, these are by far the best ones that I have used in my Bible reading. Okay. Were you just asking about highlighters? Yes. Okay. Very good. What do you write on the little sticky notes? I'm looking for some inspo. So for the little sticky notes, basically, I just write the stuff that I learned from research. So for example, okay, let's do, where am I reading right now? Okay, so I did Exodus 31. Let's find that in my Bible. I was studying. Okay, Exodus 31. Okay, so basically in verse 3, you guys just do the little research thing, right? Never mind, I found that somewhere else. Let's do another one. Exodus 32, verse 6. So how I read is I just read through the research guide, every single one of them, when I'm doing my personal Bible reading. So what I learned from here, sometimes I would take one sentence from here, two sentences from the next reference, and then I just combine them in the little notes that I do. But that's basically it. If I have questions, I do write them in red. So I would do research on that, maybe on the online library or on the website, and then write the little answers on here. But then again, it is just everything from the research guide. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. I am so glad you guys are here. Thank you guys so much for being here, for asking questions and being interested in my little shenanigans. I really appreciate you guys. And if you guys have any questions, I'm a bad texter in real life, and usually that translates to my Instagram as well. So any of your comments, DMs, I will eventually answer them. Give me like a couple weeks, a couple years sometimes, but they will get answered soon enough. Thank you guys again for being here on my first live. I really appreciate you guys, and hopefully I will see you guys again. Whew. Oh, no, I really appreciate you guys being here. I can't thank you guys enough. I didn't know anybody else was going to show up here. So, hello, Texas, Germany. I think I saw somebody from Australia. You guys are amazing. I don't know what time it is over there, but you guys are here. It's only 3, I think, right now here. So I'm assuming you're from the other side of the world and it's like midnight or really early in the morning. But yeah, thank you guys again. I will let you guys go. Hopefully, if you guys have a meeting, enjoy. And I will see you guys on the next one on Instagram. Good night to some of you guys in Germany. Thank you again, friends, for being here. Bye.